I've seen a lot of people talking about this software recently. It's VCV Rack, and rightly so, because it's a really cool bit of software. It's free, it's open source, it sounds amazing, it works on all platforms, and it's a great way to mess about with modular. If you're interested in modular but you don't have, thousands of pounds to spend on getting all the gear, this is a great way to dip your toe in the water and see if you like this sort of thing. One thing that people really want from this though, and is supposed to be coming soon, is support for plugins for VST, for AU support, so you can integrate this with your digital audio workstation. But there is a way, a roundabout way, that you can do this now. And I'm going to show you how. One thing you will need for this is either an external sequencer that you can clock to your digital audio workstation, or an audio interface that has MIDI in and out. If you don't have one of those, you won't be able to do this. So before you do this, you're going to need to download SoundFlower. I will include a link to the download in the notes. This is essentially a virtual audio interface inside your computer. It allows you to route audio from one place to another. It's pretty useful, and it's free, so why not give it a download? So once you've downloaded SoundFlower, you're going to want to go to your digital audio workstation of choice. I'm using Logic. This should work with any decent audio workstation. And I'm going to set up an external instrument here. And I'm sending this to the output of my audio interface. That's the Tascam here. And sending it on MIDI channel 1. Also, now you want to make sure that you have your input device set to SoundFlower so that the audio input will be coming from SoundFlower. So next, go back to VCV Rack. You want to set up a MIDI device, and you want to set the MIDI device to the input of your audio interface. Now, you want to go to the audio device and make sure that's set to SoundFlower. So the audio will be going out to SoundFlower, and then it'll be going back into your digital audio workstation. So now, we've got a channel set up in here where the MIDI data should be going out from here, and what I've done is I've literally got a MIDI cable, stuck it into the output of my Tascam, and then stuck it back into the input of the Tascam. So the MIDI data they are going from Logic to the output of the Tascam, to the input of the Tascam, and then into VCV Rack. And that's how you're getting your MIDI data into VCV Rack. And then the audio from VCV Rack is coming out to SoundFlower, and it's going back into Logic, or whatever your digital audio workstation is, through SoundFlower. So theoretically, that is one thing. Make sure you're not recording. I've got this set so it's recording the MIDI in, but of course it's in a loop. So make sure you have that turned off. And now, I've got audio coming in from VCV Rack. You can see. That's VCV Rack integrated with your DAW. So all you have to do is program whatever. Make sure that's not on. Program whatever you want in your MIDI, and then just record it like you would any other external audio instrument. Now, one thing you'll notice here is that after I recorded that waveform's still massive. You won't be able to hear anything, but there's that there. Because of the way VCV Rack works, there's basically a low, very, very low frequency hum underneath it. And you don't want that there. So I'd recommend bringing up a filter and routing the audio through the filter, and then setting it to high pass mode, and then input, and then just moving it slightly up. And this shouldn't affect the sound much really. If you've got all of the settings, turn the drive off, make sure the resonance is off, and just have that slightly up. And now, if I re-record, I shouldn't have that. You see there, that waveform's a lot more tame because it doesn't have that huge low frequency hum, and you really do not want to record that. I mean, you can filter it out afterwards, but you know, what's the point in filtering something out afterwards if you can fix that before you record it? So an alternate way of synchronizing VCV Rack with your DAW is to use some sort of external sequencer or MIDI sending device. I mean, you could use a keyboard if you want, because you can get MIDI in from any device. But if you want some sort of way of programming to integrate it with your DAW, you're going to need to have a device where you can get a clock out. So in Logic, you want to go to synchronization settings, and you want to make sure that you're transmitting a MIDI clock to the device you want, and that you've got it set as a slave to the USB clock, or however you sync it up with your DAW, and you can use that instead. So here you see I've got the BeatStep Pro sending MIDI data into VCV Rack here, and I'm sequencing it that way. So there you go, that is a roundabout way to integrate VCV Rack with your DAW for now, until they bring out the plugin version of it. If you found this useful, I'm planning to maybe do more videos on other things in the future, so maybe give us a subscribe or something like that. I don't know. Don't. Whatever.